Feeling better now? Yes. Yes, I'm sorry. It's alright, Miss Aqua. Everyone has been surprised to see me here. Everyone has been surprised to see me here! What are you doing here, anyway? We started to... Oh, Christ. Oh, my throat's hurting bad. We are starting to think we might need a recording for the answer to the question. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. No problem, Miss Aqua. It is time for our break anyway. So here's the deal. That's really interesting. It's very nice of you to do this, Alexander. Yeah, it's nothing, really. But do you really think one day is enough to learn everything? Definitely not. But we do not want to disturb this place's business for any longer. As if this place cares about business. Besides, we want to travel around the planet more. This coffee shop is a good start, but we cannot limit ourselves to just this place. Where do you want to go after this? Coachella. What? What are you going to do at Coachella? According to our research, there are many breedings happening during Coachella. Fuck. That is why we decided that this event will be our next target. Well, you're not wrong. But you didn't say the baby has to be born out of love. Didn't you say the baby has to be born out of love? Yes, we noticed that. But we also noticed that we do not need to know a lot more about Earthlings, including the breeding manners. That is what we will study in Coachella. After that, we'll be very ready to breed with so many female Earthlings. The worst thing about how I'm doing the voice for Neil, one moment, is that I'm doing it loudly, 1, and 2, I live in an apartment, and 3, he's talking about breeding. I shouldn't say this, but hell, that sounds like the best plan you've had since you've got here. We know. We also surprised ourselves. But please, Miss Freya, let us stop at talking about our plan. We work here today. First, let us return to our spot behind the bar. So, our discussion with Miss Myrtle was stopped abruptly. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that. What are you two doing together? It's nothing. We're just friends, you know? We just want to hang out and talk about our work. We both work in the same field, remember? Remember? Yes, that's it. We don't have that much experience in game development, you know? I thought your research was in computer graphics. Yes, but I never made a game from scratch before. I was always a bystander. So I've been asking Myrtle for feedback from time to time. Today I wanted to thank her directly. But she arrived first, so I couldn't buy her a drink. Never mind that. I'd refuse it anyway. But... wait. If you want to thank her directly, does that mean that you're done with the game? Excuse me, Miss Freya. It should be your, not your. Dude, how do you tell this? They're speaking. Yeah, I mean, they're speaking. It's spoken dialogue. How can you tell? Oh, so you're correcting my grammar now, huh? It was a slip of the tongue, okay? I'm sorry. How did you even pick up on that anyway? It's not like what I'm saying is written down anywhere. We just know. Back to you, Aqua. So, you're done with your game. There's quite a lot of things I need to polish and fix. But players can enjoy the experience from start to finish. Ah, beta, nice. So what kind of feedback do you give people for a video game? Oh yeah, by the way, the difference between alpha and beta, if you ever need to know the actual difference in game development, specifically beta means content complete, and it still requires some patching. So you can enjoy the game from beginning to end, but it still requires some work. So when you're given a beta test that doesn't include the entire game, or a beta of the game that doesn't include the entire game and that isn't content complete, then quite simply it's not an actual beta. That's more of a demo. What kind of feedback do you give people for a video game? That depends on the game. But in Aqua's case, most of my advice was about the pacing, control, and UI UX. Huh. Must be fun to have finished working on your creation. It surely removed some of the weight on my chest. Also, cleared a loon, fuck yeah. Just to replace it with another weight. Yeah. You mean there's still more to come more after you're done? I'm not done with my book. I just lost my job. And if I can't finish this draft on time, I'm done. But even after all that, if it doesn't sell well, I'm even more done. Doubly done. I'm sorry to hear that, Freya. But please be more confident. I'm even starting to doubt myself. I read some of your short stories, you know? After our first meeting, I subscribed to the Evening Whispers app, and then I read some of the stuff you wrote. They were really good, you know? Some of them are better than others, but it's still an enjoyable experience to read them. So I'm excited to check on your book once it's done. You're too kind, Aqua. What you're going through, it's more or less the same thing as what Myrtle's going through. So I'm sure you'll both be fine.
You don't have to talk about it in front of other people.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. It's just that sharing is caring, you know?
Okay. Thank you for helping me share with other people.
I really am sorry.
I know. I said thanks already, alright?
But you put so much emphasis on share. It's sarcasm, I know that.
Aqua, I'm sorry if it sounded that way. But yeah, I kinda get what you're dealing with. Although it's a bit different for me.
What's your problem?
Burnout. I've been working on something for 2 years straight, and I can't stop playing Burnout. But no one outside the office knows about it. And those who do don't seem to appreciate it at all.
I thought Full Metal Conflict had a new game every 2 years.
Yes. I don't really work on them, not directly.
So what do you work on?
A secret project. I'll tell you under Friendier.
That's delightful. Alright, I'm not with the paper anymore anyway.
I'm part of a special team. We're tasked with making a breakthrough in the studio. We need to be able to make a prototype for a new IP. Or, worst case, another Full Metal Conflict game in a different genre.
Isn't that a dream job for some people?
That's what I thought, at first. You're a writer, right? Imagine being a writer, but you can't publish anything you write. For years.
That doesn't sound like a pleasant situation at all.
My team has been making pitches, dozens of them, hundreds, thousands. Out of all those countless pitches, only a handful got approved for prototyping. And so far, none of the prototypes have been approved.
Ouch.
There's only 7 of us on the team. The 7 samurai. That's what they said.
So you haven't released anything for the last 2 years?
Sometimes our team works to support others. When they're going through a crunch cycle. They need to hit an almost impossible target. We jump in.
No wonder your folks are considered the 7 samurai.
I guess, yeah.
By the way, Myrtle, I just realized.
What?
Usually developers get their vacation time after finishing a project, right? Or they get laid off.
More or less, yes.
When was the last time you had a vacation?
Before I joined this company, I guess.
That's like 4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Dude, no wonder you're so burned out. Yes, that's why. You need a vacation.
But I can't just take one.
You can. In fact, you'll do it tomorrow.
But tomorrow is...
I'm not done yet. You will take tomorrow, the day after, and another day after off.
But where should I go?
Don't worry, I'll take care of that.
You will.
I'm going with you for this long weekend/vacation.
What about Max West?
That's not this weekend. Forget about it for now.
Hey, okay. Okay. But I can't do it tomorrow. How about starting Friday? It's still a long weekend getaway, right?
Alright. I'm so excited. Wow, Aqua. You look like a different person. Really? I'm sorry. Don't be. Okay, it's settled then. I need to go home now and prepare for our getaway.
I'll come with you.
To my apartment?
No, well, we'll walk together to the bus stop, just like last time.
Oh. Okay then. Everyone, see you next week, okay? Have fun. Take care out there. May you find joy during your vacation.
May you find joy during your vacation.
Oh, my throat. Fuck, I hate voicing Neil.
Okay, see you folks later.
Ding 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 ding. Vacation, huh? You definitely need one, Freya. You definitely need one, Freya. I know, but not now. I've got to finish this draft first. As we have said before, you can do it, Miss Freya. Thanks, Neil. Anyway, are you going to close anytime soon? Depends. Why? I'm in the mood for some writing. Then please, take your time. You sure? Do you want another drink to be going on with? Still in the house. I definitely won't say no. Shaya Adeni. Sweet, spicy chai latte from the town of Aden, Yemen. Now, I am going to take a second to check my, my social media and stuff, or blah, 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 blah. And let's see if, or my social media, what am I talking about? Check the how long to beat for this game, because I want to, because if it's under 10 hours, I guess, because I've got 3 hours into the game. If it's under 10 hours, I will keep going until midnight, and I'll try to finish it up tonight. I don't plan on going past that. However, yeah, let's just check that. HLTV Coffee Talk. How long to beat? We have 0 hours listed yet. Damn. You know what I could do? Oh wait, he has it in his wishlist. He hasn't actually played it. I have no friends who's played the game. Shit, that sucks. Okay, well, back to it. Friday, October 2nd, 2020. The Evening Whisper is with the people for stricter gun laws. New, healthier Fury sedative might be available sooner. Action video game Rising Hell blamed for violence in school. What else is new? Maybe we won't have an article today. Oh! Lua changed her shit. I can't read any of this. Lua's honestly my least favorite character. Her personality type just causes trouble. Or has been seen to cause trouble in my past. Oh, she's chilling with a cosplayer. Okay, I see now. Oh, I love Aqua's new profile picture. Let's check the Evening Whispers and see if we have a new article for the day. Oh, Freya's still making articles. Maybe she did these in advance and they're just releasing. Happily Ever After. Ever After, Ever After. Part 1. Do I want to grow old with you? No, I don't want to do that. But do I want to be with you? Right at this moment, stuck in an eternal limbo, in an infinite loop of this exact hour, forever? Hell yeah, I do. That's probably the last time Romeo remembers having a really meaningful conversation with Juliet. But let's not get carried away immediately. Just like any other story, this one has a beginning, and it starts with an introduction. Romeo is a young man of 20. He comes from a quite conservative, but not quite out of touch family. In other words, they're just like almost every other family in the world. He hates the name his parents gave him, and he hates it even more knowing that his life so far is fulfilling all the cliches of his fictional namesakes. Falling in love with a girl named Juliet is really just the icing on the cliched cake. Juliet is a young woman of 20. She also comes from a quite conservative, not quite out of touch family. In other words, they are also just like almost every other family in the world. She loves the name her parents gave her, although she hates the fact that her life is so far from fulfilling half the cliches of her fictional namesake. Falling in love with a boy named Romeo is unfortunate, but she has no plans to die so stupidly for love. Both of them study at the same university, and they're definitely not the type of people who naturally choose to be friends. Fate, however, in the form of a hip young lecturer with an over-reliance on assigning group projects and an unfortunate sense of humor, is simply what brings them together. A simple group assignment is what introduces our young Romeo and Juliet together. Even after their first fated meeting and the many, many more meetings required to finish that assignment, there's no sign that Romeo means anything more to Juliet than a friendly acquaintance that she spent a lot of time in the library with, nor, honestly, does she mean that much more to him. In fact, after she made an ill-judged joke about the literary elephant in the room, she probably means significantly less. But as time goes on, and as the group assignments keep coming without any coming without any. The lecturer ever assigning new partners. I had a dot. I had a speck on the screen that made it look like a period. Romeo and Juliet become closer. They both start to see things they had never seen in each other before. Though for Romeo, the fact is rather frightening. How could I fall for someone like her, and named Juliet no less? I can't accept it. My mind's just playing tricks on me. Again and again, around and around, his thoughts chase themselves whenever he sees her. This day is Monday. The day is Monday, and Romeo has a class he needs to attend. However, something is different. Normally a relatively anxious fellow, he finds going to class requires a lot of willpower. Today, however, he finds himself hurrying to get there. He knows why, of course, but he refuses to admit it to himself quite yet. The first thing Romeo does when he opens the door is look at a specific table. The table where Juliet always sits to his unacknowledged disappointment. The table is empty. Fuck, mutters Romeo underneath his breath. He doesn't curse because Juliet is not there, of course. Rather, he curses because noticing this was the first thing he did upon entering the room. After sitting in his usual place, Romeo reopens his book and begins reading. Every time someone opens the door, Romeo immediately turns to look and quietly whispers a curse. Again, he is not cursing because he is disappointed that it is not Juliet who enters. He is cursing because he turned to look. After a few minutes before the class begins, Juliet finally arrives, announcing herself and her friend with a braying laugh as she does so. That sound used to be one of the most annoying sounds in the world, at least so far as Romeo was concerned, but today it brings a small smile to his face. Fuck! Curses Romeo again after he realized he just smiled at the sound. Is Romeo in love? He probably is, but he doesn't want to admit that. Falling in love with Juliet is dangerous, extremely dangerous. They come from completely different backgrounds, they have different skin colors, and they worship different gods. He has no problem with interracial relationships, of course. Of course he doesn't, but he never expected it to happen to him. This simply will not do. I need to talk to you, Romeo looks up. Juliet is standing over his table, her jaw is set, but her eyes are worried, and he completely forgets all about his own problems. What's up? He asks. Can you keep a secret? It's really important. Sure, I guess I can. Good, because I really need someone to talk to. So Juliet sits down and begins telling her story to Romeo. She talks about the problems that he's been facing over the past few months now, and how they affect her study, and about how he's not the first person she's talked to, on, and Romeo listens to every word. Eventually, Juliet stops talking and sits quietly. Romeo thinks about what thinks that she looks somehow lighter than she did before. Romeo thinks that she looks somehow lighter than she did before she began talking. He doesn't know how to react to what she told him. He tries giving her some advice, really stupid advice. He thinks as soon as he said it, but he believes it's probably much better than just listening and nodding and watching her walk away. He doesn't think that he wants her to walk away from him. He thinks about this. One thing is for sure, Juliet trusts Romeo as a friend. They've shared a secret now, even though Juliet has shared the same secret with others before him. This still makes Romeo happy. So damn happy. How pathetic am I, getting happy because someone I like came and told me she's sad, Romeo thinks, and then shakes his head like a dog shaking off water. After sharing everything she had wanted to share, Juliet starts talking about lighter topics. Soon they are joking freely. The dark mood of earlier almost completely dissipated. Just before Juliet leaves, Romeo asks her something. Why'd you tell me all that? Well, I don't really know. I think I can trust you, and you're one of those rare few people who can talk to people directly without sugarcoating everything. It's refreshing, she shrugs. I guess that's why. What Juliet said is true, but Romeo finds it amusing that even though he normally speaks directly to everyone he knows, he can't do that with Juliet. He's not himself when she's around, or so he believes. After that conversation, Romeo falls even more hopelessly in love with Juliet. It's stupid, he thinks. As someone who rarely falls so hard for anyone, but Juliet is driving him crazy, and the fact that she makes him feel the closest thing to love he's felt in years, yet a big wall of cultural norms and other societal traditions stands between them, hurts him even more, and that is, of course, if Juliet is even into him anyway. As weeks go by, Juliet and Romeo become closer. They start telling each other stories more often, but all of these stories are limited to their courses, their friends, or anything at all besides their feelings for each other. She's not into me, she's just an extrovert, she's friendly with everyone, Romeo keeps thinking. And it's when he's thinking about that suddenly Juliet comes and sits at his table. So you said you wanted to tell me something. It's true. He had already sent a message to Juliet telling her that he wanted to talk about something. Oh wow, diving straight in. It's nothing at all important, actually, says Romeo. Oh come on, it's not like you to be so indirect about things. What's wrong with you, boyo? Romeo actually called Juliet to talk to her about her attitude recently. She's been weird, at least in Romeo's eyes, and it feels like she's getting farther away, removing herself from many student activities she'd usually partake in. Juliet answers all of his concerns, all his thoughts and concerns about how she seems to be removing herself from all other side activities she manages to shrug off or easily explain. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm obsessing over every single thing she does, thinks Romeo, while a pit gnaws at his gut. Is that all? Anything else you want to say? She questions him. Fair. Fair is fair, after all. Do you know that I used to like you? The words come out from Romeo's mouth out of the blue. He's horrified, even as she recognizes that it's a lie. He still likes her now. He still doesn't even know why he decided to confess his feelings right at this random moment. Never mind why he confessed with a half-lie like that. It wasn't planned at all. But when he heard Juliet say, anything else? Well, it's definitely one thing Romeo's been planning to say for Juliet for the last few thousand eons, or as normal humans measure time, since around 8 months ago. Juliet shows a flash of surprise when she says, no, I had no idea. Why? Why what? Why do you like me? Or did you like me? I mean, there must be a reason. Well, of course there is. Romeo opens his mouth to tell her and pauses. He blinks and closes his mouth again. Or not. I don't know. I think there is, but I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I'm talking gibberish. Juliet does not respond to that. Romeo doesn't even dare to look at her directly, but he can see out of the corner of his eye that she looks dumbfounded. He takes a breath and opens his mouth again, hoping for a lightning strike, divine inspiration, or instant death. He isn't picky. Okay. I just see you as a really strong person, all right? You have a big girly side, but you're also a really strong, independent person. Okay, I get the girly part, but what makes you think I'm strong? Well, just look at how you work with all your assignments and organizations. I definitely could never deal with everything the way you do, ever. Oh, come on, everyone's good. Everybody has something they're good at. You can do things I can't. That's pretty normal, you know? I know, but I'm not sure. That's probably what attracts me to you the most. When he says that, Romeo tries looking at Juliet. Just for a moment, he saw a twitch of a smile on her lips, but dared not even hope. He ascribes it to his imagination instead. So, what's next? Asked Juliet. To be honest, I don't know. I said this because I can't keep hiding it forever. I needed to say it to you even though I know it's impossible for me to ask you out, considering all the differences between us. Juliet pauses. Oh, of course. You don't need to say anything. I just needed to get it all out of my system. That's all I wanted to say. Well, okay then. I have something else to do. You don't have anything else? You don't have anything more to say, right? Yes, that's all. Juliet nods and says goodbye and then quickly walks away. After Juliet leaves, Romeo lets out a heavy sigh. Good work there. That's one hell of a lot of old baggage I just let go, and a whole hell of a lot of new baggage I just replaced it with. Here's an interesting fact about a Romeo. During the whole conversation, he hasn't been able to keep himself from shaking. It's an old habit that he can't just let go of. To his relief, they had been sitting during the whole conversation so he could hide his tremor. Still, even though he feels intense relief after telling Juliet about his feelings, his hands are still shaking. He has to wait a couple of minutes before he can walk away himself. So now, after Romeo's long-awaited but ultimately useless confession, what's next for our Juliet and her Romeo? Funnily enough, neither she nor Romeo ever mentioned it again, at least not to each other. Romeo did eventually tell some of his friends about his feelings for Juliet, but what about Juliet? Romeo didn't know anything about how she was coping with this revelation. He expected that she'd probably told some of her friends, as he had told his, but that doesn't even matter, he tells himself. We're not meant for each other anyways. Watching from outside, nothing seems to change between them. They still talk about their classes, their friends, and the shows they've watched and the books they've read, but they never mention anything again about the time that Romeo revealed his feelings to Juliet. At first, Romeo had thought that confessing his feelings would mean letting go of a big boulder inside his heart. As it turned out, it only transformed the boulder into a restless rock monster asking for more. Eventually, he realized letting Juliet know about his feelings was not enough. He needed to have her. He wanted to hold her tight. He wanted to stare into her eyes and tell her that he loves her to Pluto and back. He wants to hear her say, I love you too. He wants to kiss her. He wants to run away with her to a place where no one would care about their differences and could just see them as a cute couple in love. He wanted to do all the good things in life together with her, and more than anything on earth, he simply wants her. The feeling is killing him. How could she be acting normally after this revelation? Does it mean that his feelings mean nothing to her at all? The peak of his emotions come one night where our hero is falling asleep. Suddenly his body is drenched in sweat, his heart beats too fast, and his thoughts only run from one thing, Juliet. Run to one thing, Juliet. He wants, no, nothing so prosaic. He needs Juliet. He doesn't care about anything else, about the traditions, about their families, about nothing. There's only one thing he needs to do tomorrow, and it's confess his feelings again to Juliet. This time, however, he's going to ask her out. If she feels the same way, he will ask her to just give it a try. and fight the world together. He resolves that he's going to take a leap of faith, and it'll be a leap of faith? Christ, a leap of faith, and it will be the first thing he does the next time they meet. To be continued. Welcome. Good evening, Mr. Baileys. Evening. Am I the first customer tonight? You are. That's new. Freya's not here. She said she's coming later. She said she's coming later tonight. Got something to do with her meeting some of her fellow writer friends. Why not do it here? It's her favorite place, right? Excuse me. Her friends have visited this place from time to time. Just not as much as her. A writers' gathering, huh? I wonder what writers talk about when they're hanging out. I've known them for some years now. She has this habit, you know. If she said they're friends, it means they're just hanging out normally. But if she said they were writer friends, they're probably talking about work. Either giving each other feedback on their latest drafts or sharing and validating ideas. Interesting. They even use code words for meeting up. It's not like that. She doesn't even realize what she says. I just picked up on it. That's even more interesting. Are you always so observant? It's part of the job. Why is that? People come here every day. Some of them aren't as talkative as others, but their body language should be loud and clear. It can tell you a lot of things, or then whether they need a friendly ear or just want to be alone. It applies to what they're ordering as well. Because, you know, sometimes what people want is not what they need. That's deeper than I would have thought. So what are you reading from me now? I won't say. Why? That would break the charm. The hell was that? I guess I can say this much. Whatever I say or do to our customers, it's always related to what I'm getting from their body language. Including our interaction now. Man, now I see why you don't want to share. Even that was to make me enough to make me feel like I was naked in front of you. By the way, I haven't ordered anything. What are you having tonight? Hot chocolate. With ginger and cinnamon. I hear that's a good drink for the bitter heart. Here you go. It's like you didn't even try. Motherfucker, that was hot chocolate with bread and cinnamon, you bitch. Or with ginger and cinnamon. Coffee? Coffee! Fuck! God, I did coffee! Son of a bitch! Ah, I'm an idiot. I'm so tired. Sweeten with the brown sugar to satisfy the Cookie Monster. Great, wonderful. Like you didn't even try. Excuse me. Forget it. Say, Alexander, tell me about yourself. What do you want to know? Anything. How old are you? Old enough to open a coffee shop. Oh man, I guess I should say sorry for asking that. It's alright. That's the only answer I can give. Now you're making me wonder. What should I ask next? Damn. Hello, everyone. Why are you both looking at me like that? Freya, you look horrible. No, I don't. Yeah, you do. No, I don't. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to echo our dear barista. Yeah, you do. What happened? You better be asking what didn't happen, because the answer would be proper sleep and decent progress on my drafts. You need to rest. And miss my deadline? Hell no. Sorry, Baileys. I won't be able to keep you company, because I have to finish this thing, and for that, I need a whole hell of a lot of espresso. Are you sure about that? You really should just rest. Get something to help you sleep. Espresso. Please. Alright, one triple shot espresso coming right up.